Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Shri Radha Madhava Ji ki Jai Om Vishnu Paramahansa Paribrajakachaja Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace of Chanan Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai ISKCON Patissa Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Jayananta Kota Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai Prem Sri Ho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashari Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyamakund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Jai Sri Vrindavan Dham ki Jai Navadip Simai Podam ki Jai Gangamai ki Jai Jamunamai ki Jai Bhakti Dev ki Jai Tulasi Maharani ki Jai Sri Harinam Sankirtan Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, glories to Sri Jai Shri Radha Madhava. Srila Prabhupada said this song, Jai Radha Madhava, is a picture of Vrindavan. Here is Radha Krishna, Radha Madhava, Govardhan is there, Jamuna. It's a picture of Vrindavan. That was in Gorakhpur. Then he went into an ecstasy. No, he went into an ecstasy first when he was singing. Afterwards he was saying how his song is a picture of Vrindavan. So many pictures pictures can be there in Vrindavan. So here, now we're talking about Vrindavan in the Shakyas, the Krishna and his boyfriends is Vrindavan, but now the time of the day is such that the boys are performing their pastimes in the forest, playing, etc. like that, and eating their lunch. So throughout the day there's different pastimes. Krishna will meet with different types of devotees, and so then they have their separate pastimes. So time for the boys, time for the girls, time for the mothers and parents and elderly people to be with Krishna and express their devotion to Krishna. So this is Vrindavan. And the topmost pastime of Krishna is his pastimes with the gopis. Because the gopis bring Krishna the greatest happiness. By comparative study, we can understand that the gopis, they have a deeper love and affection for Krishna. Everybody has the deepest love and affection for Krishna. The gopis exhibit it. When the analysis is made, then Prabhupada said, we come to the conclusion that the those in Madhurya Ras are better situated in terms of Krishna satisfaction. So here the Shakya, this is Shakya, there's an excuse for the boys to go out into the forest and leave the parents at home. So Krishna goes out with the Shakyas. Then at noontime approximately he goes to Radhakund, meets Radharani, they have pastimes there. And then it's time to start going home with the cows. So the boys got Krishna out in the forest on the plea of herding the cows, and then now they have to, at noontime, Krishna has an excuse to go and see the gopis. Then again, after some time, there are different pastimes again. The boys will come and it's time to go home. The sun's now on its way down. So again, the boys now, they're causing a separation. They call it a union by the excuse of being in the forest with Krishna, and now it's time for them to leave that situation. And one was meeting in their pastimes, bringing Radha and Krishna together. Then at a certain time, then they will separate them also. It's time to go back with the cows. It's time to meet the parents and everything. So from one pastime to another, Krishna is going from one set of rasas to another set, enjoying with different devotees in different circumstances. So this is Vrindavan. It's uniting Krishna. The different devotees in their different mellows and pastimes, they unite Krishna, and then at different times they separate Krishna. Radha and Krishna never want to be separated, of course, but due to ill fate, they will be separated. So this increases the love of Radha and Krishna's pastime. So it's union and separation, Shambhoga and Vipralamba, bringing Radha and Krishna together, then parting them again, then bringing them together again, and then making them like this. So in this way, if we were God, if we had a choice to be God, I think we would be thinking more of happiness and Sambhoga all the time. We go to the Spanish Riviera and play around on the beach or whatever you do whole day and night. But it's not like that. There was a song, if I ruled the world, every day would be the first day of spring. But it's not like that in the spiritual world. Spring is there, but then it changes to summer. And there's different pastimes. Then winter, it gets cold in the winter. So different pastimes. In the rainy season it rains. So there's different pastimes allocated. They run to the Govardhan, they hide in the caves, under trees. It's the time for all the luscious fruits to come out. So the variety is the spice of life. It's not all just enjoyment. It's changing, constantly changing. So then everybody's accommodated. Everyone in any relationship with Krishna you want is accommodated by the potencies of Krishna, the energies of Krishna. Jai. Radha Madhav ki Jai. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 13, Text 43. Brahma stealing the boys and calves. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Evam eteshu Vedeshu Chiram Dhyatva Sha Atma Bhu Santya Ke Ketare Neti Gyatum Neshti Kataranchana Evam miteshu pedeshu Chiram dvatpasha atmabhu Satyaki katarineti Gyatum neshti katanchana Evam miteshu pedeshu Chiram dhyatpa asa atmabhu Satyanki katarineti Gyantum nesti katanchana Evam miteshu bedeshu Chiram dvatpa asa atmabhu Satyaki katarineti Gyantum neshti katanchana. Evamete shubedeshu Chiram dhyatpasa atmabhu Satvaketare neti Gyatum nesti katanchana. Evam, in this way, eteshu bedeshu, between these boys who were existing separately, chiram, for a long time, dvatpa, after thinking, sha, he, atmabhu, Lord Brahma, Satya, real, Ke, who, Katare, who, Na, are not, Iti, thus, Kyatum, to understand, Na, not, Ishte, was able, Katanchana, in any way at all. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, the boy Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus, Lord Brahma, thinking and thinking for a long time, tried to distinguish between those two sets of boys who were each separately existing. He tried to understand who was real and who is not real, but he couldn't understand at all. Please repeat. Thus, Lord Brahma, thinking and thinking for a long time, tried to distinguish between those two sets of boys who were each separately existing. He tried to understand who was real and who is not real, but he could not understand at all. Purport. Brahma was puzzled. The original boy and calves are still sleeping as I have kept them, he thought. But another set is here playing with Krishna. How this has happened? Brahma could not grasp what was happening. Which boys were real and which were not real? Brahma was unable to come to any definite conclusion. He pondered the matter for a long time. How can there be two sets of calves and boys at the same time? Have the boys and calves been created by Krishna? Or has Krishna created the ones lying asleep? Or are they both merely creations of Krishna? Brahma thought about the subject matter in many different ways. After I go to the cave and see the boys and the calves, after I go to the calves, after I go to the cave and see the boys and calves are still there, does Krishna go take them away and put them here, so when I come here I can see them? Or does Krishna take them from here and put them there? Brahma could not figure out how there could be two sets of calves and cowboys exactly alike. Although thinking and thinking, he could not understand at all. Om Agyantamidandasya Jananjanan Shalakya Chakshurun Militanjena Tasma Shri Gurvinma Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Rama Rama Hare Hare. So he is Brahma Vimohana Leela, the bewilderment of Lord Brahma. So here we can see that Brahma totally bewildered. He can't figure it out at all. So he's asking these questions are going through his mind. Yes. 6 or 7 questions. One of the questions is, the original boys and calves are still sleeping, but another set is here, playing with Krishna. How has this happened? It's another question. Which boys are real and which boys are not real? Another question. How can there be two sets of calves and boys? Another question. Have the boys and calves here been created by Krishna? Or has Krishna only created the ones lying asleep? Or, another question, are they both merely creations of Krishna? Or another question, after I go to the cave and see that the boys and calves are still there, does Krishna go take them away and put them here so that when I come here I can see them? Or does Krishna take them from here and put them there? After thinking and thinking, he could not understand at all. And Brahma says, here or a bit later, do we pass or just coming up? I've got 4 heads. I'm considered the most intelligent person in the universe. And I can't understand. So who else can understand? I'm supposed to be the most knowledgeable person in the universe. But I cannot understand them. What to speak of others when they're trying to understand? So, illusion is there. We are subject to 4 defects. We must become illusioned. Must be. Senses are imperfect. We look at the sun, and it's like a rupee coin. The size of the sun in the sky looks like about as big as a rupee coin, or 2 rupee coin, or something. So my senses, my eyes tell me that the sun is this big. But if we do the proper calculation, we come to understand it's 93 million miles away. And it's a huge planet. So my eye says it's only this big. So senses are imperfect. We're gathering knowledge from these imperfect senses. So how can the knowledge become perfect? So we're illusioned. We make mistakes. Brahma made him a big mistake here. He wanted to test Krishna just to see what would happen. He made a big mistake. He didn't know what he was getting himself into. And Brahma tried to deceive Krishna. So illusion, imperfect senses, makes mistakes. And the cheating propensity. He was cheating Krishna a little bit. I'll cheat you, I'll take away the boys. And so here Brahma is exhibiting all these 4 defects that we have. So he's the most important person in the universe practically. But we see he's subject to all these 4 at the same time. Illusion, cheating, imperfect senses. So he came to his senses after some time. The Navadvip Mahatma Maharaj was explaining a little bit that Lord Brahma went to come to Navadvip, Antadvipa. He said, I think I made a big mistake. I did make a big mistake when when I tested Krishna, I played a trick with Krishna, and actually Krishna didn't answer my questions, or he just remained silent. So generally when one remains silent, it means he's accepting. So he remained silent, Krishna remained silent, and he was just a little boy there holding some yogurt in his fingers, and a village boy, looked like a village boy. And but Krishna didn't express anything. And so Brahma thought, is he displeased with me? I don't know what he is. So therefore he came to see him in Antadvip, came to Antadvip. And he had the darshan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Brahma said that if we, like the first trillion years, something like trillion years of my life have been wasted. I've been identifying myself as the controller of the universe, the Lord of the universe, the enjoyer of this universe. I've made a big mistake. The next trillion years, I don't want to go through this again. So he got the darshan of Mayapur, and Mayapur blessed him that when I come and perform my pastimes here, you can assist me, you'll become known as Namacharya, Haridas Thakur, Namacharya. And so you will help me in my pastimes. So he's a partial incarnation with Haridas Thakur. So So everybody is actually bewildered in this world, from Lord Brahma to an ant. Everyone is bewildered under this bodily conception of life. And one has to come to the conclusion that there is a Supreme Personality of Godhead and surrender to Him. If one wants to get free from this illusion, which everybody is so deeply sunk. Srup Damodar Maharaj, our Srup Damodar Iskon, Manipuri Maharaj they call it, he said that when science, modern science as we know today, when they started on this modern science, it started as an exercise saying how far can we probe into the material nature, the material world. How far can we probe until we come to that point where I surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We cannot go no further. So that was how science was supposed to be orchestrated. But then the scientists, they probe and probe and probe. And then when they come to that point where they should accept, now we're going to accept God, that there is a Supreme Person in control, in charge of this. But instead of doing that, they say, we don't need God, or God is dead, or we can... And then they go off into a whole, just speculating on, what it could be or what it couldn't be. Neti. So the science was actually made with this understanding that we're going to come to the conclusion, that we come to a point where we can't go any further. So here we'll accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we see now the scientists are not doing that. They put God is dead. He's put him out the picture now. So we don't have to worry so much, because this understanding, when there's no God, is very good for my sense gratification. They like this philosophy. We don't have to become a servant of God. We don't have to become a servant. In fact, we can become the masters, the lords and masters. So this is the way modern science has taken us now. emphasizing the idea of that we are controlling so much. Look, now we can enjoying and controlling propensity. But Bhoktaram Jagatapasham Sarvalok Maheshwaram. Krishna is the enjoyer, he's the owner, the controller of all the planets. That is his position. So if we leave Krishna, give Krishna his position, let him have his position, then we will understand how things are working by the grace of God. We are not going to understand everything. But whatever we can understand, we can use that in the service of Krishna, in the service of God. That's what it's for. Or the real purpose, actually two purposes. One is for the living entities to identify with it as being the controller and enjoy, and accept adopting this enjoying spirit. Bhavarog, we're identifying with this body and the enjoyer of the body. So everybody has this conception, not only human beings, but all species of life. They have the same the conception that I am this body and I am the enjoyer of this body. So therefore the whole educational system has to be turned around, and Krishna consciousness is the only way to do that, is it? There is no other way practically to do that. But still the scientists, they don't accept this process. Of accepting Krishna as being the God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Prabhupada said that when I went to America, somebody asked me, I think it was she was connected with who was that? A British person. Impossible. Can you make me a Brahman? Can you make me a Brahmin, Swamiji? George Zetland, yeah, Lord Zetland. Can you make me a Brahmin? Yes. But you follow these principles: no eat meat, no eat eggs, no intoxication, no. Impossible. I can. Anyway, she was one of his followers, I think. She asked Prabhupada, can you recommend me a Bhagavad Gita that I... And Prabhupada said, no. He said, quite honestly, I cannot. In America at that time, there were about 600 different versions of Bhagavad Gita. And by different philosophers and yogis. But Prabhupada said, I cannot see one I can really recommend, because none of them are touching on the real spirit of Bhagavad Gita. They're still hanging on to the idea of themselves being the controllers and the enjoyers of this world. So he said, I cannot recommend, because none of them touch on the real spirit. So therefore everyone is bewildered in this world, because even though Krishna has come and is given the process, he speaks Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, still this conception of being the controller and enjoyer is the main identification of the living entities in Kali Yuga. Even though there are spiritual paths, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, but if we examine them, they're all paths of controlling and enjoying. They're aimed at some spiritual understanding Brahman and going on, Paramatma, Bhagavan, the realizations. But except for the devotees, they don't give up the conception of being the enjoyer, being the controller and enjoyer of this world. So even though they're doing different types of yoga and everything, consciousness is not purified. Because intelligence is not purified. Because they've come to the conclusion of accepting the lotus feet of Krishna and surrendering to the lotus feet of Krishna. So still that contamination is there. So even though they're religionists, they're practicing, they're on the path to Godhead, still they have this aspect of being the controller and enjoyer is still strong. There's their strong identification. As long as that identification is there, then everyone is going to be bewildered. So only the devotee, he has a proper understanding of surrendering to Krishna. So Krishna is very plainly speaking, here is the solution to the problem. I'll give you, there's different types. Krishna said, I'm speaking here, the different types of yogas for your benefit. So what is the goal of Karma Yoga? Krishna says, what is it? Karma Yoga. Huh? Yeah, Karma Yoga means, Yad Ashi, Yad Karoshi. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Yad Ashi, Yad Karoshi. Whatever you have, whatever is, we're offering and using in service to Krishna. So that's bhakti. So the conclusion of Karma Yoga, it means you're going to offer everything to Krishna. So the conclusion is bhakti. That's an act of bhakti. And Krishna speaking about Jnana Yoga. What is the conclusion of Jnana? After being a Jnani for thousands and thousands of births, one comes to the conclusion, Vasudeva Sarvamiti, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he surrenders unto him. So bhakti. So the conclusion of Jnana Yoga, after millions of births, of trying to understand the Absolute Truth, one comes to the conclusion, Vasudeva Sarvam, yes, Krishna is everything. Then he surrenders at that point. So the goal of the Jnanis is ultimately it's bhakti. And for the yogis, yogi mamapi, thank you. Yeah, it's Krishna. Of all the yogis, what does he say? Of all yogis, abides, of all yogis, one who abides in me with love and devotion. He is the greatest of all yogas. So that the mystic yoga is also the conclusion of mystic yoga is bhakti. It's all bringing to the point of bhakti. And bhakti is, for the devotees, is direct. Sarvadhanam parityaja mamekam sharanam. Become my devotee, surrender to me. So otherwise everybody is bewildered. But Krishna so kindly given us this process of Krishna consciousness. That can be easily adopted, easily accepted by anyone. So this is the mercy of Lord Gauranga, Lord Nityananda, Panchatattva, Guru Parampara. Everything is there. We have to just approach the devotees who know the science of Krishna consciousness and serve them and ask questions and put into practice Krishna consciousness. Then one lifetime we practice, we're trained to go back home, back to Godhead. This is the final training. Going back to Godhead. When Nanda Maharaj and all the cowherd men were in Akura Lake, and Krishna showed them the Vaikuntha. They were taking their bath and Krishna showed them Vaikuntha. And they're all, Nanda Baba and all the cowherd men were astonished. Look, here's the spiritual world. We can see the spiritual world. They were taking their bath. I think Akurukund. You can see the spiritual world. And Prabhupada said in Krishna book, the training goes on. Yeah, they got to be the position of being fathers of Krishna, Nanda Maharaj and all the elderly. They got to be Krishna's father. So advanced. Yet, Prabhupada said the training goes on. He was showing them their future destination. Vaikuntha world of Vaikuntha. They're all going back home, back to God. The training goes on, even though you're with Krishna, you're performing pastimes with Krishna. The training goes on. So this is Prabhupada's teaching. He's been training us till the time of leaving our body, then we are trained to remember Krishna. Then we quickly call Krishna. Prabhupada said, if you have a desire for one Rasgula, you will have to come back again in the material world. But who is so foolish, after all these years in Krishna consciousness, that you're going to be remembering a Rasgula? No, we're going to remember the teachings of Prabhupada who has taught us. Remember Krishna. Then back to Godhead. This is Prabhupada's simpleness, this is Prabhupada's greatness. Just dedicate, surrender your life to Krishna, serve Krishna all life, remembering Krishna at the time of death. Go back home, back to Godhead. Don't have to come back again in the material world. Back to Godhead ki jai. Sri Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma's bewilderment ki jai. How we get these pastimes. Lord Brahma was bewildered, but we learned from it. Ultimately, Brahma was completely bewildered, but he surrendered to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Thank you. This is the grain. No. Yeah, is it green? I could change.
I can ask a question. Please forgive my foolishness. You just mentioned who is such a fool that for all these years then still thinking of one rasagula. I have to say, I am that kind of fool. Because like the lower nature of the body is very, very strongly demanding. Like sometimes I'm really hungry, then that time I would be thinking of rasagula or rasamalai. How can we completely absorb ourselves in this Krishna consciousness? Thank you.
He's very old. Is it new? And then go. What happens if you forget? But you're Krishna's devotee. If you forget, then Krishna will remind you. Says Gauranga will come and remind these devotees he should be Krishna conscious. For the devotees who surrender their life to Krishna, they didn't. Krishna consciousness is like a family consideration. So all the do's and do nots are not really applicable for devotees. Just like it says, you go and take Jananivasa from the deity. You can go back to Vaikuntha. But if one drop falls on the floor, you've got to spend 7 births as a leper or something like that. It seems to be quite strict. So this is for the for not pure devotees. That they still have some motivation, some material fruitive motivation, fruitive intention. They want something for Krishna, so they come to the temple and they're praying. They're praying. They want this, they want that, they want this, they want this. And Krishna says, okay, I'm here, that's what I'm here for. And I will give you, I am giving you, fulfilling your desires, whatever you want. But you have to be very careful also, you have to be very strict also. You're coming to the temple, and you're approaching me, I am God. And you're recognizing that, and you're asking me for something, and I'm going to give it to you. But you have to be very careful. You've got to be on your P's and Q's. Otherwise, you drop one Jananivasa on the floor, there's 7 births as a leper. Because you have a fruitive motivation. So here are the rules and regulations for the fruitive motivated people. And then we get so many books. Hari Bhakti Vilas, and so many other books on rule and regulation. But most of these are not applicable for a person who surrendered to Krishna, surrendered his life to Krishna. And he lives with devotees, he's dealing with devotees, so Sometimes brothers fight, and sometimes sisters fight. But it's not considered a big thing in the family. So because the devotees, our intention is bhakti, is service. We are understanding our position as servants of Krishna. We're not asking for any material benefit. So all these rules and regulations, they're not really considered for the devotees. But you follow them out of etiquette. But it's Krishna will remind you, or Gauranga will remind you, if you forget. And if you leave your body in Navadvip, at any kind of accident or by whatever, one gets devotion to Krishna. So you don't get devotion in this material world. So that means you go back to Godhead, or you go to that place where Gauranga is performing his pastime. Krishna is Bhaktavatsala. He's very kind to his devotee. So be his devotee in the mood of surrender to him, and Guru will take care. You're initiated in a bona fide sampradaya, bona fide Guru. He will take care. It's said he is there at your side at the time of leaving your body. You can go to the spiritual realm. The Guru is there also to take you to the border of the spiritual world. He is encouraging you. Cross. Cross. But you have to make that decision. The Guru gives you all help. But you have to make that decision to take that step across the world of Maya into the spiritual world. That decision comes from you. So that is your bhakti. Hare Krishna.
I read yesterday a quote from the Padma Purana that if a pure devotee has some discrepancy in not executing some of his duties, like in Varnashram, there are 30 million great sages ready to execute the duties on his behalf, Krishna said. Krishna said in the Padma Purana that if a pure devotee has some discrepancy in executing his duties according to Varnashram, some material, like you're saying, these things don't apply to the surrendered devotees. So if there's some discrepancy, the Lord said there are 30 million great sages ready to perform those duties for that devotee.
For them. Where was that?
It was in Brihad Bhagavatam Rita, but it's from Padma Purana.
Another question from online. Hare Krishna, thank you for your sweet class. If we are very, very sincere and pure, is it possible one day Krishna's all pastimes will be manifested in our hearts? Is that possible? Krishna's all pastimes manifested in our hearts, if we are sincere.
All the pastimes of Krishna?
Yes.
Yeah, they become manifested in the devotee's heart according to his degree of self-realization. And Brahma Samhita in the last verses. That one sees the spiritual realm, he sees the pastimes according to his self-realization. So it doesn't come to a point where it stops, realization stops. You see according to your degree.
But Krishna's pastimes are unlimited, right? They're endless. Krishna's pastimes are endless.
Krishna's pastimes are endless.
Yeah. So, if they're infinite, but our heart is finite.
Well, Krishna's pastimes are endless. They're going on eternally and they're unlimited. How we can comprehend or how we can compensate so many pastimes. So the pastimes are revealed as they're happening. And at that time you're not thinking of any other pastimes, although all the pastimes may be there. When you're absorbed in one pastime, there's nothing else existing except that pastime. This is the nature of bhakti. It's ever present.
The pastime will also depend on the particular rasa one is in. Like if one is in Vasalya rasa, then it will be like that, with the child. But if one is more in Sakya rasa, then it will be different mood, or Madhurya rasa. There are different pastimes for different moods, right?
Yeah. Also, the aspect also. There's different attitudes there according to their ages and propensities of devotion. It's constantly changing. Everything is constantly changing. The example is given that, I don't know if it's in the Shastra, but I think there may be, even in Brahmaloka, there's maybe have a beautiful chandelier hanging there. And that's also changing. The light emanating from the chandelier, it also changes, and everything is constantly changing and expanding. And you can see the chandelier from one angle of vision, the beauty, another person can see the same chandelier from another angle of vision, the same chandelier. That's why it's called bewildering. Brahma is bewildered. I also become bewildered. I'm bewildered.
In the Brahma Samhita purport, one of the verses, it was said there was two kinds of meditations connected to chanting mantras, like Chintamani, Pakarasadmasu, or Angani, Yasha Sakalendri. Those, in chanting those mantras, can reveal one particular pastime, the Lord fixed in a particular mood. And then there's a second kind of chanting and meditation where it said many of the pastimes will be revealed to one after another. So I don't remember the Sanskrit. First one was like Swabhaviki something, and then the other one was Mantra Upasana, and then a couple more Sanskrit words. But I found it interesting that it was touching on what we're talking about, that by meditating on the mantra like Lord Brahma did, receiving Diksha from the Lord, to begin with, it gave him just one particular pastime, and he focused on that solely and wholly. And then in chanting in another type of mood, the mantra revealed to him revolving or evolving, changing pastimes of the Lord.
Thank you. Yeah, like when Krishna entered the arena of Kamsa, then there were different devotees there, and they all reciprocated with Krishna. As the rest, Mustika and Chanura, they saw as like thunderbolts and hot. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. When Krishna went to Mathura, then Uddhava came to?
Uddhava came from Dwaraka to see him, to meet him, because they were cousin brothers. Uddhava wanted to meet with Krishna when Krishna came to Mathura. But that time, Krishna didn't create Dwaraka yet. But in the Bhagavatam, it's written that
he didn't create?
Dwaraka wasn't exist. That time, Krishna just came to Mathura. And from Uddhava came from Dwaraka. It's written in the first canto. And then from which Dwaraka he came? It was another Dwaraka or something? It's written in the first canto that Uddhava came from Dwaraka to meet Krishna in Mathura. From which Dwaraka he came? Because that time Dwaraka wasn't created by Krishna yet. So, do you know? Maybe it was some village around Dwaraka or what?
Anybody know the answer to that?
He didn't speak Bhagavad Gita yet, and the war of Kurukshetra also not happened. But that time you told me Bhagavad Gita is eternally existing. That's why it's no wonder that Krishna, when he was a small boy, when he was in Vrindavan, he can tell his father the philosophy coming from Bhagavad Gita. That's what, when I ask you that question. So same way, Dwaraka is also eternally existing. So it is possible Uddhava coming from Dwaraka. And also at the same time, Krishna, he didn't create it yet. That creation of Dwaraka, that pastime is not manifested yet in that particular scenario.
Prakat and Prakat, it may be like that. No, I didn't hear that.
Like one time I asked you one question. In Krishna book, it is mentioned that Krishna is telling all his fathers and the elder cowherd men no need to worship Indra, and he is speaking philosophy from Bhagavad Gita. But that time Krishna is a small boy. And Bhagavad Gita was spoken at the Kurukshetra war when he becomes adult, at least 125 years old or something. So how is it possible when Krishna is a small boy, he speaks Bhagavad Gita philosophy, he's talking about Bhagavad Gita, he quotes from Bhagavad Gita to his father. That time I asked you why, and you told me because Bhagavad Gita is eternal. So it's no wonder Krishna, he can quote even when he was a small boy. So in the same way, in the same logic, if we apply, then we understand Uddhava can come from Dwaraka because Dwaraka is existing eternally. So Uddhava can come from Dwaraka, although that time Krishna just came to Mathura. He didn't go to Dwaraka yet. He didn't created Dwaraka yet. Can we explain this way?
No. No, I can't explain.
Inconceivable.
And when Krishna was studying in Sandipani Muni school, then he learned also all foreign languages.
Oh.
Many foreign languages. foreign languages. He studied. He learned a lot of languages, different countries, foreign languages. Like it's written, he learned many foreign languages. But that time, like how we understand the planet was one, only Sanskrit language, or like, it was in other countries with different languages at that time also? Because it's written that Krishna learned different languages, different.
I'm sorry, I can't understand. Not getting it.
In Sandipani Muni's school, Krishna learned for one day how to speak on many different languages, like different. But that time was in other countries with different languages. Is it also? It wasn't one state. It wasn't only Bharatvarsha with one language. It was many.
No, the places were existing. Europe was existing, but the Malechas and Yavanas lived there. So Parikshit and the followers of the Vedic principles, there wasn't much interested in going there because that's the place of the Yavanas and Malechas. But they were there, the places were there, and the cultures were there. But because they were outside of Vedic culture, then we see the kings didn't bother with so much going there.
He taught him to speak the language of the birds, the language of the bears and the beasts, the different animals. They all have their own language. So Krishna learned all the languages.
There's one place Krishna is speaking with Uddhava, I think, and they were speaking in a foreign language. And Prabhupada said they were speaking English. They were speaking English.
Where was that?
Where was that? It was Uddhava and Krishna. I think they... Was it... They didn't want other people to know what they were speaking. They didn't want to know what they were speaking, so they spoke in the English. English.
Krishna was somebody else.
I think it was Uddhava. I think so. I can't remember where it's from.
Second canto has the Buddhas, Malindas, and what have you, and Srila Prabhupada talked about the Pandavas going different parts of the globe, so that indicates different religions, different languages, different races. At that time, one inverted world.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Jai.